Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the First UU. My name is Babs. I'm a 40-something person, short hair. I'm standing on a stool, which I will try to remember to remove for those taller folks who will be speaking. Uh, Short, shaggy hair, and I'm wearing a blue shirt today. Whether you are here with us on Zoom, and whether it's your first time here or one of many times, we welcome you, and we hope that you'll stay today and have some coffee and conversation after the service. Our chalice lighter in the sanctuary today is Steve. Thank you, Steve. Today's chalice lighting words are by an unknown author. With deep gratitude for all who have kept burning the flame which lights our path, we kindle our chalice. We remember thus in love the long pilgrimage of those living and dead who have in faith and hope guided our way.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Colin. I use he, him pronouns. I help out with the children's program here at First UU. It's lovely to be with you the day before Memorial Day. That's the theme of the story that I'm going to share today. Any Buddhist friends we have with us today might recognize in this story a story about a mustard seed. Any fans of the TV show Bluey might recognize the same kind of story as Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound. But this one today has a giant panda named Stillwater in it. Stillwater helps us remember important things. This story is Addie's Cup of Sugar. It's by John J. Muth. Addie and her pet kitten were best friends. They did everything together. When he was very young, his meow sounded like the tooting of a tiny brass horn, so Addie named him Trumpet. They woke up together every day. Trumpet sat on the covers and wouldn't move until Addie got out of bed. When Trumpet was with her, the world was brighter and warmer. But one day, shortly after they moved into their new neighborhood, it happened. Trumpet was hit by a car. Addie was very sad. Trumpet couldn't be gone. This couldn't really be happening. There must be something she could do. Then Addie remembered her friend Stillwater. He knew a lot about how to help people. He would know how to bring Trumpet back again. Addie ran to find him. "Stillwater, Stillwater," Addie cried out. "You have to help Trumpet be alive again. Please make him come back." "Oh, Addie," Stillwater said softly, "I am so sorry. Perhaps we can find the medicine you need. But first, you will need all the right ingredients. You must go around the neighborhood and find someone to give you a cup of sugar." Stillwater handed Addie an empty cup. "Fill this cup with sugar and bring it to me so we can mix it into the right medicine. But the most important thing of all is that the sugar must be from a home where death is a stranger." Addie hurried outside. She ran as fast as she could to the nearest house. Emma, who was visiting her grandmother, answered the door. "Do you have a cup of sugar I could have?" asked Addie. "Yeah, I'm sure we do," Emma said. "Oh, good," said Addie. "Stillwater needs it for a special medicine." Then Addie remembered. "Does anybody in your family know someone who has died?" "My grandpa died last year," said Emma. "Oh," said Addie, unsure of what to say next. "I'm sorry about your grandpa, but the sugar for this medicine must come from a home where no one has died. I'm sorry to bother you," she said. Addie ran through the backyards and beneath the laundry that hung on clotheslines. The linen sheets that brushed against her skin felt like Trumpet's rough tongue. She never knew what a cat's tongue felt like until she met Trumpet. Addie went to another house and knocked. She was surprised when her school librarian opened the door. "Please," said Addie, "I'm helping my friend Stillwater make a special medicine. I need to find a cup of sugar, but it must be from a home where no one has died." "Oh, I'm sorry," said the librarian quietly. "Last week our dear old dog Gracie died in her sleep. I wish I could be of more help." "Oh," said Addie, as quiet as the librarian. "That's okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry about your Gracie." Addie ran from neighbor to neighbor looking for a cup of sugar from a home where death was a stranger, but she couldn't find a single one. Each person had at one time or another lost someone who was dear to them. Knowing she had to hurry, Addie scampered across the yard, through some bushes between the trees. A rabbit watched her run past, the pupils in his eyes growing so very large. It was like when Trumpet would sit very still and watch and wait, and then he would pounce. Ouch! Addie's pant leg caught on a sticker bush. A sharp thorn broke the skin on her knee. She sat down and unhooked the thorn. "I'm sorry, Trumpet," Addie said. "I'm trying to help you as quickly as I can." Addie thought about all the people she had met today. When she looked at their faces, she knew how each of them had felt. And while she was still very sad, she did not feel quite so alone. She thought of Trumpet, of how he chased dragonflies in the yard, how she would find him curled up asleep in the funniest places, how his little pink toes felt so soft, how he would purr and rub his chin against her cheek while she lay in the grass looking at the clouds. Now she felt the tears come. The light was chasing the end of day. After a long moment watching the sky, Addie stood and began to run. Stillwater was waiting for her on the porch. "I have no sugar, Stillwater," Addie said. "Everyone I met today has lost someone they love." "But I understand now," she said. "The medicine was for me, wasn't it?" Stillwater smiled a beautiful, sad smile. "How will I ever stop being sad about Trumpet?" asked Addie. Stillwater held Addie close. "You may always be sad about him," said Stillwater. "Only time can make the hurt less. And while you can't see him the way you once did, he's not really gone away. He's in your heart and always will be." The end. Thank you so much for joining me in this story. Anyone who wants to join us and the kiddos downstairs for a more interactive environment, you're welcome to. Parents, if you don't mind picking up your kiddos at the end of service, that would be great. And remember, if you don't have a little candle, you can light one now and take it with you to remember that the love of the whole congregation here goes with you while we go downstairs. While we're going, we'll sing On Your Way.
I'm glad Colin did that last bit because I'm still recovering. All right. The prelude today is On a Clear Day with music by Burton Lane and performed by Eva. Today's words of invitation are by Reverend Gary Kowalski. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God at all. Maybe it means just listening, unplugging the TV, turning off the computer, quieting the mental chatter and distractions. Maybe it means listening to the birds and the insects, or the wind in the leaves, or the creaking and groaning of the trees. Noticing who else is there, not far away, but nearby, sitting so still that we can hear our own heartbeats. Watch our breath, that gentle whoosh of air, the funny noises that our bodies make, marveling at them, marveling at our bodies that we take so much for granted. Maybe prayer means listening to our dreams, paying more attention to what we really want from life and less attention to the nagging and scolding and voices from the past. Or maybe it's about listening to each other, not thinking ahead of how we can answer or rebut or parry or advise or admonish, but actually being present for each other. Perhaps if we sit quietly, we'll overhear a peace whispering through the centuries. That peace that's missing from the clamor of the moment. Maybe prayer means listening to the silences between words, noticing the negativity of space, the vast, undifferentiated, and nameless wonder that underlies it all. Yeah. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God at all, but listening with a heart to the angel choirs all around us. To those who have ears, let them hear. Our hymn of the month of May is Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky, and it is number 301 in the Great Hymnal. The words will also be on the screens, and you are welcome to stand or remain seated as we sing together.
Nothing like a little house cleaning. Okay. This is, of course, the Joys and Concerns, and my name is Mark McGinn. And for once, I'll share my pronouns. He, him, it, whatever, but that's me. Hi. I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Committee. As a community, we share joys and concerns to keep connected. Slips of paper are available at the greeters table for those in the sanctuary to use for joys and concerns. During the week, you may send your joys and concerns by email to, here we go, pastoralcare@springfielduu.org, or by leaving a voicemail on the church phone at 417-883-3922. If you're on Zoom, please use the chat box now for sharing your joys and concerns. Wow. We meet again. I hope you got a lot of candles because I've got a mitt full. Wait a minute. Here we go. We have a joy from Betty Ridge. Good times with relatives and friends. A week ago, we celebrated 4 birthdays, and 1 graduation yesterday was our annual family reunion. Pretty good. That's a joy if we light a candle for Betty. Well, I don't see a name here. Whoever this is, raise your hand, okay? So, tomorrow, stop for a moment and think about someone that gave up their tomorrows for you. My great uncle Nelson is buried in Luxembourg. I have no memory of him because he died in the frigid Battle of the Bulge 8 years before I was born. He was 29 and left behind a wife and child. He was dead less than a year out of boot camp. Wow. He was an average guy from a small town in New Jersey. Like so many average guys, he was the world to those he left behind. So think about my great Uncle Nelson, and I wish he had come home. I wish I had memories of him at Memorial Day picnics. That's from Red. Where's Red? Whoop. That was for me. This one is from Tinity. Sounds like my high school. My niece graduated flight attendant training and has assumed duties at her first base in Miami, Florida. So let's light a candle for that graduation. Nothing like flying, huh? Announcements? That's not me. That is. Got any? You're up. Wait. I know, but neither do I.
From the chat box. Birthday greetings to my sister, who turned 94 yesterday and continues to deal with her diminishing memory. That's from Jane Washik. And Mark, you're not done.
All right, here we are, right here.
No, right here.
Do we have a chat box?
Yeah, we just read that.
Okay, so, oh, here we go. We light a candle for all who are impacted. In closing, for those joys and concerns that remain unspoken in our hearts, we light a candle. May we hold each of these joys and concerns in our hearts and minds. May our community of love ease sorrow, boost celebration. Now let us join together in 1 minute of shared silence, followed by Spirit of Life. Well, there it goes right there. Done. Thank you.
I'm up here because I just got a text from Dacia saying Jim Broadstreet, and I know he passed away. I didn't see anything on chat about this, but and I'm not sure exactly when he passed away, but it was very recently. Thursday night, okay. So a lot of you know anyway. Oh, yes, go ahead.
And my understanding is that the memorial service will be this coming Saturday at 4 p.m. here. Okay, that's about all I know at the moment. But for those of you who have been here in the past or, you know, fairly recently, Jim Broadstreet was the construction manager for this building, among many, many other wonderful things that he has done.
Can we light a candle for him? Now for This Week in UU History. On May 26, 1900, the International Council of Unitarian and Other Liberal Religious Thinkers and Workers was organized at the 75th annual meeting of the American Unitarian Association. The object being to open communications with those in all lands who are striving to unite pure religion and perfect liberty and to increase fellowship and cooperation among them. Samuel Atkins Eliot proposed the idea of the organization, and Joseph Estlin Carpenter of Oxford, England, served as the first president. We give to remind ourselves of the many gifts that we have to offer. We give to remember that we are a part of something larger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. On the fourth Sunday of each month, we take a special offering called Donate the Basket. This is a UU ritual that focuses our love and generosity on the community needs outside of our church walls. This year's need is food insecurity. All undesignated cash and checks in the D the B in the memo line for checks, and that will be added to the donation at the end of the year to the organization that helps with hunger in our community. If you donate electronically, be sure to indicate D the B. That makes me laugh. I'm sorry. It's a good cause. If electronic giving is your preferred method, or if you are on Zoom, virtual giving options are available via our website at springfielduu.org. The offertory is Bring Him Home from Les Miserables. Hold on, I actually have some notes here. Les Miserables. I have some pronunciations, so I hope I don't get this too far off. With music by Claude Michel Schoenberg, and music by Herbert Kreitzmer, with Allo Bublé, arranged by Mark Breimer and John Prescott, performed by the choir. My apologies.
Good morning, or almost good noon. My name is... Becca Reynolds, and I'm a woman of average height. Sorry. I am a late middle-aged, red-headed, heavy-set trans woman with glasses. Today I am wearing, she and her are my pronouns, and today I'm wearing a black dress with little white, blue, and pink flowers. I will be reading the message today, and it is entitled, Look for Me There, by the Reverend Gene Barrington. This was first presented at the UU Church of Tippecanoe County, West Lafayette, Indiana. When someone we have loved and admired dies, their death ends many things, especially the opportunity to talk with them in person, ask their advice on what we should do next, or simply be with them in person, in our losses, our celebrations and joys, and in other milestone occasions. But death does not end a relationship. The loss of a loved one is an ending in some ways, but it is also the beginning of our journey forward without that person by our side, or even on the other side or other end of the phone. We can still reach out to them, and we do, imagining their advice, guidance, and support based on all that we cumulatively knew and received from them through their words and deeds and character. Our relationship with them can and does continue. Yet we are left in need of answers to our questions and comfort in our grief. Memorial Day weekend can remind any of us of an elder we loved and lost, whether a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, mentor, or friend. How do we honor their legacy while also forging our own path, staying true to ourselves? This thoughtful and tender memoir, Look for Me There, Grieving My Father, Finding Myself, gives to us some of those answers and some of that comfort. It is written by Luke Russert, son of the late Tim Russert. Tim Russert, as most of you know, was a famous and widely beloved broadcast journalist and Washington correspondent for NBC and host of Meet the Press. In June of 2008, he died suddenly of a heart attack when Luke had just graduated Boston College and was only 22 years old. Luke's book examines his relationship with his father and also with his mother, Maureen Orr, who is an extraordinary journalist in her own right. The title of Luke's memoir comes from something his father said to him when he was a young child. They loved going to Baltimore Orioles baseball games together. Luke vividly recalls one where they ate hot dogs and bought a souvenir program. In the stadium, working their way through the crowd, from the concession stands to their seats, Tim's grip on Luke's hand slips for a minute, and Luke falls back a few paces behind his father. Tim stops walking, turns around, reaches Luke, and embraces him. He then says, "Buddy, if we're ever separated, just look for me there," as he points to the hot dog stand with the Orioles' large, colorful bird logo on it. But then he looks at Luke lovingly and says, "But we won't ever be separated." For his father's memorial service, Luke stepped up to do his eulogy, both for the smaller service for family and close friends, and for the public service, which was a state funeral. During such an emotional undertaking, Luke felt his father's presence with him. He turned to the memoir Tim had written about his father called Big Russ and Me. In it, Tim had written, "We can't withstand major crises and the huge changes they bring about alone. We are not strong enough. We really aren't. When people are confronted with a crisis, particularly the death of a loved one, the most important thing is to reach out to them, help them, because they can't go through their loss alone. It is inexplicable in their lives at that time. You have to be there for them and help them to understand. There is something here to accept. This is out of your control. This is a power far beyond yours. In part because of the beautiful job Luke did memorializing his father, and in part because of his father's success and fame, Luke was catapulted into his own career as a broadcast journalist. He was ongoingly aware of his privilege in those professional connections and successes, and felt some guilt about that. NBC hired him to cover the elections and other Washington news, especially to present the views of youth and young adults. Luke worked long and hard and was successful for 8 years. But he wasn't happy. He had not really examined what he would have liked to do as a career path, and he had not really processed the death of his famous and beloved father. He was not happy. People around him who cared about him must have noticed. One of the people who noticed was the Speaker of the House, John Boehner. One day, John Boehner called Luke into his office. With his tendency to be blunt and get right to the point, Speaker Boehner asked Luke, "What are you doing here?" Boehner would call Luke Jr. as a reminder of whose son he was. He said to Luke, "Jr., it's time for you to go do something. Build something. You don't want to be a lifer here. Trust me, I've been here over 20 years. Look, you're a young boy. At one point, you up and realize you've spent your entire life here and never once got into anything else. I get it," Speaker Boehner said. "It feels like the center of the world here, but there is more out there. It gets too easy here." Luke thanked him, and John Boehner's advice really pushed Luke to think about the current state of his life and what he wanted his future to be like. He began asking himself existential questions like, what do I know aside from the world curated for me? The awesome power of nature, the pulse of vibrant cities, the pull of curiosity. I've seen them. I know pain, but it's external, ever-present grief. Am I using that grief as a crutch, as an excuse to stay too comfortable and confined? So Luke began a journey which started out being for a few months, but ultimately took 3 years to travel across 6 continents, getting to know other countries and the people who live in them, and getting to know himself. He traveled to Patagonia, Buenos Aires, Uruguay, Bolivia, Easter Island, New Zealand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Japan, Ephesus, Senegal, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Iceland. Luke Russert is a prayerful person, as was his father. Their family is helped and strengthened by their Catholic faith. In his travels, Luke prayed frequently, sometimes alone, often with others who pray or meditate differently than he does. He encountered people whose faith tradition is Protestant or Jewish, or one of several types of Buddhism, or Muslim, or Sikh, or earth-centered. Several times he encountered religious people and asked if they could sit together reverently, each praying or meditating according to their own faith tradition. In doing so, Luke expanded his knowledge of world religions and experienced a shared sense of reverence with others who were taking the spiritual aspect of their lives seriously. As Unitarian Universalism is a pluralistic faith, like Russert's book reminds us, to humbly open ourselves to all that other faith traditions can teach us. One such encounter was during Luke's visit to the Wat Phra Prom Roth Buddhist temple in Cambodia. As Luke entered the temple, questions came to his mind. What did I learn today? What can I do with the knowledge to feel more purposeful and fulfilled? How can it be measured effectively in a mindful way? He felt that he was engaging in a version of the Jewish examen, the daily meditative exercise that encourages Catholics to draw closer to God by engaging in the following steps. 1, become aware of God's presence. 2, review the day with gratitude. 3, pay attention to your emotions. Choose one feature of the day and pray from it. And 5, look toward tomorrow. and he found himself newly aware of the importance of understanding our small stature in this grander world. Luke's journey was helpful to him in processing his father's death. He was helped in making meaning of it by experiencing along the way, such as the many times he would see rainbows, something his father had always delighted in. And so Luke was able to continue to feel that his father was supporting and comforting him. But all of Luke's trekking was only able to take him so far in his examination of who he is and what he wanted to do with his life. Eventually, taking trip after trip came to feel aimless. He was left feeling unanchored in his sense of vocation, home, and relationships. He had become overindulgent and neglected his physical health. So he came back to the States, saw his cardiologist as well as a therapist. He looked at his need for status and his fear of failure. He reread all of the journals he had kept during his travels. And he realized that in order to completely process his grief at the loss of his father, he needed to write about it. And he realized that if he wrote about this journey, the trekking to other countries, the spiritual exploration, and the self-examination, others could be helped too. He writes, "If I could inspire one person to better themselves or better understand themselves, to take a risk, change direction, or just realize it's okay not to have everything figured out, to keep missing their lost loved ones, to be vulnerable, then a project like a book might help me unlock my purpose." A faith journey such as Luke Russart's is undertaken somewhat differently by each individual and somewhat distinctly within the major religions of the world. But what is shared by all humanity is the need for affirmation and support in processing our grief. We need to share a common creed. We need not share a common creed in order to comfort one another. This brings to mind for me an episode of the old television show Northern Exposure, which I loved many years ago, just as I was beginning to feel a call to become a Unitarian Universalist minister. The episode is called Kaddish for Uncle Manny. Joel's Uncle Manny dies, and he is very grieved. So he needs to say the mourner's Kaddish with a minyan of 10 Jewish men. So his neighbors, wanting to be of help, start trying to round up 9 Jewish men up there in Northern Exposure's remote and sparsely populated Alaskan geography. Joel is very moved by their efforts and compassion, but something doesn't feel right about it to him. He tells them to stop. He says it feels like they're trying to find hired guns. So he asks his neighbors to come together in the little white non-denominational multi-purpose church. And he says, "I'm no rabbi, but it seems to me that the purpose of saying Kaddish is to be with your community. And what I realized this week is that you are my community." They smile at him, and he asks, "If you would just be with me while I say a prayer for Uncle Manny, and maybe think of someone in your own life who you loved, and maybe say a prayer or meditation in your own way." Some of them take hands. Shelley crosses herself. Chris and his brother Bernard stand and clasp their hands in front of them to pray. Joel begins to chant in Hebrew. Maggie bows her head slightly and closes her eyes. A native man behind her raises his hands and near his ears, fingers spread. Then Maurice, the curmudgeonly astronaut, bends forward, elbows on his knees, forehead to his clenched hands, and weeps. A woman in front is silently mouthing the words to a prayer she knows by heart. A man in back moves his hands in gentle motions along with Joel's ancient sacred words. A bearded man nods his head, and the song of a Native American flute fills the room and wafts outward through the door and windows up to the mountains. May we all have a safe and blessed Memorial Day. So say we all, and amen. That's the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The interlude is Find a Stillness, a Transylvanian hymn tune Harmony by Larry Phillips. This is number 352 in the Gray Hymnal. The words will be on the screen.
We will all sing.
Our closing words today are by T.S. Eliot. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where you start from. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time. Our final hymn this morning is Amazing Grace. It is number 205 in the Gray Hymnal. The words will be on the screens, and you are welcome to stand or to remain seated as we sing. I will have a short announcement after the extinguishing of the chalice, but first, we will now extinguish our communal and personal chalices with our closing unison sending words. Our service here is ending. Our service to the world begins anew. Thank you.